Greetings, everyone. It's time for another random discussion, this time on the Smash Brothers ballot and who we voted for, or at least who we
Goku,
want.
Ridley. Seriously, do
Naruto.
any of you guys have Goku or Ridley? Because if you do, I will smack you through the internet.
This is what this discussion video is all about, though, Ted.
John,
And,
that is not
we're
filling me with
talking-
good feelings.
Ah, there's this voice in my head that won't shut up.
Voices? What?
Our top 5 picks for the Smash ballot. Its deadline is October, I want to say 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, the day
Of
the
this year.
3DS version came out, actually.
Ah, yes, you're right. And we figured we'd spend a little time, not too much time, but a little time discussing our top 5 picks. Now, I like to hopefully think this is like a good luck charm for some of us, because last year, or the year before that, when we did our first Smash 4 discussion, I wanted Little Mac to be in the game, and lo and behold, Little Mac was confirmed for Smash 4, so hopefully that will ring true for my picks.
I called Palutena. Palutena got in the game.
Okay, that just proves my point further. Hopefully this is a good summoning ritual to get these characters in. Shall we begin?
Alright, who wants to... Should I go first for my number 5 pick, or...
Yeah, let's start with
Yeah.
Ryan and go clockwise.
Clockwise?
Clockwise on the internet? What, Ted?
Alright, Ryan, Ted, myself, and then Nathan.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, well, my number 5 pick is my third-party pick, Shantae, just because I couldn't think of many other characters I would roll on in otherwise.
I wouldn't mind
Third
Shantae.
party.
I wouldn't mind Shantae. I just have a hard time seeing her happen because she's an indie character and also Western.
Yeah.
But it would be cool, I would admit. And also,
Well,
Smash Brothers Shantae remixes. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel that the indie thing would hurt her. It's more the Western thing, because it's Nintendo and they're kind of hate Western stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I hate's a strong word, but there's definitely some bias there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree Shantae would be, I'd imagine, Shantae's not anywhere on my top 5, but I've been hearing the push for Shantae, as well as Shovel Knight or any other indie developers' love child.
Well, the
And-
two I've been hearing most are Shantae and Shovel Knight, so...
I've heard Meat Boy.
Meat Boy has no chance.
Meat
Meat Boy's
Boy
never
has-
been on a Nintendo console.
No, it
so-
was on the Wii,
Wait, Super Meat Boy wasn't on the Wii.
wasn't it?
No,
I'm pretty sure Mr.
No,
People
it
was
was,
not.
it was
no.
on 360.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Steam.
Yeah, so Meat Boy's not happening.
No. But yeah, I like to see Shantae, if possible. It's very unlikely. But then again, a lot of these picks may be very unlikely. But, you know, why not? Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I just feel that she's been around long enough, a lot of people know her, and it'd be a nice way to give the indie crowd a bit of representation versus just kind of the big names for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're talking about unlikely picks, my number 5 pick is my I would really like this to happen, but I know it's never going to happen pick, and that's Banjo and Kazooie.
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna
I
happen.
know, what I want to do is I want to go back in time and have Sakurai put Banjo and Kazooie into Melee, so that, like, Nintendo will make smarter choices about selling off Rare, or at the very least selling off Rare's IPs, because, like, that would be really cool. Like, I mean, there are very few games on the Nintendo 64 that are as beloved as, well, actually, I shouldn't say that because the N64 has a lot of fan favorite games, but Banjo and Kazooie are a widely loved game series, and people still see them as Nintendo, even though, like, people see them as being kidnapped by Microsoft. So I would really like them in Smash Brothers.
Give him back.
And if Phil Spencer said he would be up for it, but, you know...
We'll pay the ransom.
No, Phil Spencer said that purely for advertising reasons.
Phil Spencer said that because he wants to be in Smash.
Yeah.
Hold on, I've got my Me Studio up. Better go make it be.
Hello, I'm Phil Spencer.
But,
Sorry, I love that guy's videos.
but yeah, I think they'd be a fun pick. I think that their moveset would work well in Smash Brothers. It's just, you know, this is my I know it's not gonna happen pick. So, you know, I would. But if it did happen, I'd be really happy.
Not gonna happen.
I know.
Oh, well. Well, my number 5 pick is Ryu from Street Fighter. This is kind of going into that data mining that people were doing with the 3DS version of the game. Nothing's been confirmed, but before that, Ryu was always sort of a character I'd like to be in there. I think I remember reading. I don't remember if this was ever confirmed or if it's just allegations, but Sakurai said he wouldn't want any other character from an initial fighting game previously.
Yeah, I think Ryu is also kind of an odd choice because in every game he's in, he controls basically the same way. Like, you can play Ryu in Street Fighter and in Marvel vs. Capcom, and he'll control basically the same. Smash Brothers controls nothing like Street Fighter, so they'd have to...
All the more reason, though, I would think that it'd be interesting to see how they would differentiate Ryu Smash compared to Street Fighter Ryu. You know, and because they already got Capcom on the wagon, and with the added DLC costumes to show that the Capcom is spreading more love than just Mega Man, I think another representative of Capcom would be ideal. And when I think another Capcom representative besides Mega Man, Ryu, and I just think it makes the most sense considering Ryu's background.
Yeah,
it's about as likely as Banjo-Kazooie in my opinion, but I'd like to see it happen.
I would say it's more likely than Banjo-Kazooie.
This is all assuming those rumors are true about what they found inside the data. I'd be happy about it, but until then, I'm just going to make it a choice for my ballot anyway. So yeah, Ryu.
For my number 5, it's also my never gonna happen pick. It was Agumon because I can hope.
Who? I'm sorry.
It's
Who's
a
Agumon?
Digimon.
It's a Digimon.
Of course, because
You picked a
the
Digimon?
game is produced by Digimon's owner. Like, and Digimon did start out as video game characters.
I'm giving you a glare, Nathan.
Yeah, well, Morton can glare right back at you, Ted.
A Digimon and a Pokemon in the same game, never gonna happen.
I understand that. I can hope.
But this is why we classify them as never gonna happen to start with, you know?
I can hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Agumon?
I don't even know how to spell that.
It's 6 letters.
Is that the orange
Yes.
dinosaur one?
It's
Digimon's
it's
Pikachu.
most likely the first Digimon you think of.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ted's giant sigh of "fuck you, Nathan."
Can we move? Let's move
Fucking
on.
Digimon.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Alright, my number 4, we're moving into slightly more plausible territory, but I doubt it with this one. It's going to be Waluigi, just so I can, have fun with him and just be a silly, nonsensical and bullshit. Yeah.
I think Waluigi would be fun. I don't know what they do since he's already
Assist trophy?
That's just a trophy.
Yeah. But I mean, thinking about it, it would be fun, especially if they pulled all of his moves from like the various Mario spin-offs. Like, I don't know,
All I have to say is one of his taunts better be the crotch chop.
And the other one better be him spinning around in place for Mario Golf, because that's just great.
Yeah, I think he'd be a wacky, fun character, sort of, just to pull random moves out of the hat for.
Yeah.
And just so we can have a plumber battle.
Yeah. People will probably argue against Waluigi's pick because he's already an assist trophy, and I would disagree in that. I think it would still be a good choice in a meta sense because of his assist trophy inclusion. But at the same time, I look at because Mewtwo originally began as just a regular trophy in the game, and I figure people thought like, oh, that means he's deconfirmed for Brawl and Smash 4. But lo and behold, he comes back anyway as DLC. So anything's possible.
Same with Lucas.
Well, those are just trophies that you look at in the gallery. That's different from like a thing that happens in the game. But like, no matter what.
Well, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to just deactivate.
Yeah, it
his
shouldn't be
assist
that hard.
trophy
It
from
shouldn't
an
be that hard
update.
to disable the code.
Yeah, that is true. That would be kind of weird to do though. But at the very least, for a Smash 5, I'd love to see Waluigi be playable. That would be fun.
Hey, if they didn't want us to pick Waluigi, they would have said before the Smash Ballot even began, don't pick assist trophies. They didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, people would pick them anyway. It said pick a video game character. Oh my gosh, I could vote for Goku. Goku is in a video game.
How many people do you actually think voted for Shrek 2?
3. It was probably all Donnie.
The internet is a weird place.
No, John, I'm pretty sure it was more like 300. The internet is
Okay,
a
and
very
it was probably all Donnie.
No, Donnie probably voted for like the Spinball Tower as a character.
Okay. Ted, number 4?
Okay, anyway, my number 4 is, I'd say, more likely than Banjo, but still not very likely overall, and that's Flynn, aka the main character from Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Oh.
I think that'd be really cool. Mostly just because, like, normally I'm against more dudes with swords, but he can do, like, magic and stuff and has a gun, so that would be cool. And also, considering that Atlas and Nintendo are working together already with Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei, I don't think it's impossible. So I think that would be a cool character.
I think if Atlas was going to get a rep, it was probably going to be one of the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem characters, honestly.
As a
Probably,
cross-promotion?
I think... Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be true too. I'd be fine with that, assuming the character's good. I'm just saying Flynn because he's the one that's already out. I wouldn't really expect any of the Persona people to come over, because even though they were in, what was it, Persona Q on the 3DS, they're mostly considered a Sony kind of thing. It's the same sort of reason why, even though Cloud was like in that one GBA Kingdom Hearts game, he's probably not going to be in Smash Brothers. So,
Okay,
yeah.
then I'm going to add a number 6 pick, then Mara from Persona. Can happen, right?
Yeah. Penis
Yes.
chariots? Totally. They'd have to...
Well, if I had to pick anyone from Square Enix, it would probably be a Black Mage, just like pretend it's Vivi.
But yeah, that's my number 4 pick. I know you guys really aren't SMT people, so there probably isn't too much to say
Yeah,
about
well,
that.
you know, this is what it's all about. Anyway, my number 4 pick is the guy that's rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather, Knuckles.
Knuckles?
Because
Why not
it
Tails?
just, you know, I understand that's probably be the most logical option, but to me the most logical option would be the brawler of the family, and that's Knuckles. You know, you can...
Big the cat.
No.
well, you know, if we're gonna talk about assist trophies, then it probably would, like, I think if it wasn't Tails or Knuckles, it would be Shadow. But he's already an assist trophy, so I think it probably would be more likely that one of the Genesis characters got.
Yeah,
picked instead.
diversify it a bit.
What about
Yeah.
What about Dr. Eggman?
Okay, that.
It'd be kind of hard to make. Well, depending on how you wanted to stylize his moveset, it'd be hard to make him.
Well, there's tons of different options they could go for. They could make him. Well, he probably would be very similar to Bowser Jr. no matter what, but they could go for his classic Eggmobile. They could go for his SA2
Yeah.
mech. You know, there are options, and that's, I think, part of the fun of a character like Eggman would be creating a moveset that would be interesting. Because he could literally do whatever, because he makes the machines. Fuck, I forgot the lyrics.
He make the machines.
I was trying to...
He do the thing.
I was listening to the SA2 soundtrack while driving the other day. Great soundtrack to drive to, for the record.
I am the
And I had
Eggman.
Eggman...
He make the machines.
Yeah.
I am the Eggman.
All right, so what other reasons would you have for Knuckles?
I think it's just because he's a knucklehead. He's a brawler. He's got the rock hard fist nipples, and I think he could put them to great use for. You know, I'm not asking for a slower Sonic. I'm just asking for a character that can utilize what he has, and I think Knuckles is the perfect choice for that. Yeah, I understand Tails is probably the second pick when we're talking about Sonic representatives, but I just think it makes more sense with Knuckles.
Are we talking regular Knuckles?
Regular Knuckles.
Boom Knuckles. Boom Knuckles.
No, just
Put it
regular
Boom
Knuckles.
I thought you're.
Boom Knuckles as an alternate.
Yeah,
path.
just give regular Knuckles sports tape as an homage. That's fine.
And make his arms huge for no reason.
But keep them the same size.
What about you, Nathan?
My number 4 is actually Dr. Wily. Not saying that out loud, he would probably play it like Eggman. How we were just talking, because he does the machines and the robots and stuff, and he could fly around in a Wily capsule. But yeah, we need more villains.
That is very true. I also think, like, any number of his Wily machines, or
Mm-hmm.
turning into the alien from Mega Man 2 would be a great final smash. The first pick for Mega Man choices that they would go for would be Proto Man, but I don't know if the Mii costume deconfirms him, but I think it makes it a little bit less likely that he would be in it. But I think Wily was someone I didn't think about, and he would be fun now that I give it more thought.
I don't know. I think that the next most likely Mega Man character after Mega Man himself would be Zero.
Yes, just because
I
he's
don't know.
I see why, because their excuse for not including someone like Proto Man is probably because of the costume. The same goes for X. And if we're just talking from a visual standpoint, X and Mega Man look very similar. You know, X has the jewel in his forehead, and his armor looks slightly different, but they're still
And
he's slightly taller.
Slightly.
But aesthetically they are very, very similar.
Yeah.
And I know this is Smash we're talking about where we got clones and all of that, but I don't think they would want to waste the slot on that after the fact, after the game's out.
Sakurai's put Pichu in a Smash Bros.
Yeah, but that was
game
also Melee, and that was over 13 years ago.
A decade ago.
Sakurai has not proven himself to make less dumb decisions over that
Who
period.
are you to talk, Ted?
Hey, just because I can be a dipshit doesn't mean I get to not call out Sakurai when he's a dipshit. So
It takes a dipshit to know a dipshit.
Hey.
You were about to agree with it.
You were.
Ryan, what's your number 3 pick?
Gonna get a lot of flack for it, but Black Shadow from F-Zero, mostly because we need more villains and he's plausible. He's probably one of the few plausible ones besides like King K. Rool.
Now, okay, I don't know my F-Zero. Is Black Shadow the Dark Captain Falcon, or is he the one with the huge horns on his head?
The bull horns.
Okay.
Batman.
Okay. Actually, that
Yeah.
would be cool. Samurai Goro, since he's an assist trophy, would... Like, an F-Zero. I would be down with an F-Zero character, no matter who they pick.
Yeah, I just figured Black Shadow's like kind of the main villain of the series, and you can always make him a semi-clone, so he wouldn't take that long to make.
Well, they've already got a slower, more powerful Captain Falcon with Ganondorf, though.
Yeah.
True.
Just squint his eyes, it kind of looks like a Black Shadow.
They wasted their F-Zero clone on Ganondorf.
And Blood Falcon's kind of already a costume for Captain Falcon.
Yeah, because
In a way.
well, isn't it it has the Blood Falcon on the back of his costume, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's
they
the same
changed
color.
it.
It's not exactly 1-to-1, but it's close enough.
Right.
So I just figured Black Shadow would be a good villain to add. He would be a good F-Zero rep to add to try and drum up some more interest for the series. He could be a semi-clone, kind of like how Wolf was to Fox. So that's just kind of my opinion on getting Black Shadow in. So I did vote for him, and one of my times I did vote for it. So
Clearly, we're not releasing enough Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Big Blue gets announced, and I'm just sitting here sobbing in a corner.
with the hopeless smile on your face.
F-Zero mode released.
200cc Captain Falcon outfit, Blue Falcon cart. I can pretend I can.
Oh man, why are all these Mario characters in this new F-Zero game? Jeez.
I'm way cooler than you, Falcon Punch.
Okay. Okay, my number 3 pick is, again, a not very likely pick, but it's just, one to sort of have more representation from a series that doesn't have an awful lot, but I'd like Brittany from Pikmin 3. I think that would be pretty cool.
You already have Alf.
I already have Alf, but Alf is the most boring Pikmin 3 protagonist. Brittany's great. She's the most...
You know what? They really should have capitalized on the alternate outfits with Alamar. If they were already going to do that with Alf, they should have just included everyone else from Pikmin.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the
Brittany
thing
and
is...
Charlie and Louie. Yeah.
But I think part of it is that there's only been 6 captains in Pikmin. Olimar, Louis, the President, Brittany, Alf, and Charlie. That leaves 2 colors left. So I guess they could have just given Olimar and Alf 2 colors instead. But yeah, it would be really cool just because, I think that it would be cool to have more representation. And they wouldn't even have to do too much with her. They could make her like the Lucina to Olimar's Marth and have her have all rock Pikmin or something. So that you get less versatility, but you're easier to use or something. I don't know. I think it would be fun, personally.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
So John, how about your number 3?
All right, number 3 for me. This is where we start getting into familiar territory for me, or for the next 2 picks anyway. And my number 3 pick is Wolf. Like, I want to see Wolf come back.
He's gonna get confirmed at E3. I'm 90% sure he is.
Well, before we get into your basis for that, I just want to say that Wolf was one of my favorites to use in Brawl. He wasn't my go-to top, because my mains were usually Mario, Sonic, and Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah, to be fair, I used Wolf a lot in Brawl as well.
Yeah. Wolf was my favorite of the 3 Fox characters, because I felt like... Well, no, because you use Fox... Okay, that's fine. You use Falco if you like Falco. Most of the time, it was purely aesthetics. More in Brawl's case than Melee, but in Brawl, Wolf stuck out, and that's why I liked him.
Well, I think Wolf... My problem with Wolf was that they tried really hard to make him different while still keeping him a clone of Fox, which was kind of lame to me. Like, if
I disagree. I disagree, because...
He was more different from Fox than Falco was.
Well,
Yes.
I get it, but like I don't see the need for all 3 Star Fox characters to have the same specials and especially the same Final Smash. That was lame.
I will agree with you. I'll agree with you on the Final Smashes. I thought that was always dumb. I agree with you there. But I thought Wolf was different enough to justify a character slot, and I like to see him come back.
But I'm pretty sure he's going to come back because, they announced Lucas in the last Direct. They'll probably give Lucas a release date at the E3 Direct. And they'll probably announce Wolf coming back, considering Star Fox is getting a new game. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back to drum up a little bit more interest for that game.
What, you mean like if you're thinking like in terms of an E3 presentation, like they announced Wolf and then, oh my gosh, Star Fox trailer? Something to that
something
effect?
like that, yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't, to be honest, like I know I say this as a joke just to piss people off, but I really would like to see Slippy. Yes,
I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see that too.
But it's just,
Fox, get Captain Falcon off me!
Like, even though, like, maybe this is just me, even though Wolf was the most different of the Star Fox character, his B was still a blaster, his up B was still a fire, his down B was still a reflector. You can always be more different, is just my point, so...
Says the guy who wants Brittany.
I know, but that's just my...
I know, but that's my pick, not yours.
Like, that's... I would like, preferably speaking, I would like her to have a completely different kind of fighting style to Olimar, but if they had to make her a clone, I'll take what I can get, essentially, was my point.
Well, same here for Wolf.
Whatever, John. Shut up.
Just don't understand the true form of Wolf.
Landmaster.
Go ahead.
For my number 3, it's getting back into familiar territory. I want Ivysaur. I voted for Ivysaur because Ivysaur was, when I played Pokemon Trainer, Ivysaur was my go-to Pokemon. Squirtle was quick, Charizard was powerful, and Ivysaur had all of that in one. And Ivysaur was just a lot of fun to play. I don't know why. I think it was just having fun playing as a 4-legged Pokemon over like every other fighter that's 2-legged, just beating people with the vines.
It is. I'm sorry, Ted, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't mind seeing both Ivysaur and Squirtle come back, but do you think that they'd keep them as Ivysaur and Squirtle, or do you think that they'd make them Venusaur and Blastoise? is basically my pick. Because Ivysaur always, to me, seemed like they picked Ivysaur just so that the Pokemon trainer could have weird evolution practices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
No, I get what you're saying, but how big is Venusaur, technically?
Well, like, that really matters. Charizard's size changes, like, every time he sneezes, so,
Ridley is too big, though.
What about Kirby? He's 8 inches tall. How can you scale up and not scale down?
Ridley is too big.
It's more, with Ridley, I always say it's a proportions thing, not a size thing, but, yeah, go on.
And I say that's bullshit.
Ridley is too big.
Just some stages are too big. But yeah, no, Ivysaur is my number 3.
Alright,
Okay.
So I guess moving on to my number 2. This is one I feel is pretty likely, although we'll kind of have to see how it happens later in the month, which pretty much gives away what it is. I'm voted for Inkling.
Damn it, Ryan.
What, I stole a pick of yours?
You stole my number 1 pick.
I knew it!
Oh, really?
I knew it! I was just about to say that. You stole Ted's number 1.
I was waiting for this to happen.
Fuck.
Activate Protocol 3.
What's Protocol 3?
Well, then Ted, come up while we're talking. Come up with another joke one you can add.
Do you know how hard it was for me to pick characters, dude? Like it took me like a long time. Fuck.
But no, I voted for Inkling. I feel they would have a really fun moveset. It would be a really kind of unique character to add to the game. It also kind of promote a new IP a little bit, considering they haven't really done much of it, and I feel that it's the only one they've done in a while. So give it some love.
I just like how for some of these picks we really are just thinking about like cross promotion when it comes to in Smash. I think it's smart, to get inside Smash. Obviously raises your profile a tad, especially if you haven't had a game in a while. I mean, after all, that's how we got Fire Emblem in the United States to start.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say. It's just like nobody would have given a shit about Fire Emblem if Marth wasn't in Smash.
Poor Ice Climbers, though.
How much of a cult fall? How much more of a fan base did Earthbound get after NES? Like nobody knew what Earthbound was before Smash Brothers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except for me.
Basically.
Except for me.
Wait, you played Earthbound before Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had a friend that had a copy of it, and I used to play it all the time.
You freaking hipster, Nathan. Gosh.
What's wrong with playing things before it was cool?
It makes you hipster, that's why.
Well, since Ryan got to your number one pick, though, Ted, do you want to explain your reasoning as well? I mean, or is it pretty much the same as Ryan's?
Okay, well, the Inkling, more for one, new IP. I always think that's cool, but also I think it would be a fun character because, we have plenty of characters who have an emphasis on projectiles, but we don't have any character who would just be all projectiles, which I would think would be pretty cool. And considering all the different weapons that Splatoon seems to have, like the ink roller, the paintbrush, all of that, I think that would be a really fun kind of character to play. But, that was my number one pick, so I'm just gonna come up with a different. I came up with a different one actually.
All right, so bump your number 2 to number 1, and then say what you just came up with.
Okay, well we were at number 2 anyway, so my number 2 is the Ice Climbers. Bring them back, please bring them back. I miss those little guys so much.
Can't work on 3DS.
Oh no, shut up.
Something
Sakurai.
tells me that's a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
I got a funny feeling that is as well. I just don't see how it's not feasible.
Well, my thing is that maybe they tried it, they had a little bit of trouble, and Sakurai was like, "Oh, well, can't do that." And then
look at the time! It's Mewtwo o'clock.
and then I get the feeling that they gave up too early. I would have loved to see the Ice Climbers come back, especially since they're such a fan.
I seriously think that's a load of bullshit, because how do you get Rosalina and Luma to work on the 3DS, and you can't get the Ice Climbers to work? Rosalina and Luma act separately from one another. Yeah, Luma attacks when you hit the A button, so did Nana and Popo.
Yeah.
So how about the compromise that they kind of came up with over at Game Explain, just make it one and then change their up B a bit?
No,
because I think what made Ice Climbers unique is that they were two characters in one.
Yeah.
Just to make it only one would sort of defeat the purpose of Ice Climber.
But I mean, you could change their up B to the pterodactyl.
You could, but the thing that made the Ice Climbers fun was the two characters.
Well, yeah.
Even if you couldn't pull off desyncing, it's still you got a lot of multi-hit
and
attacks.
You got a lot of damage off really early. Yeah, especially with their grab.
Oh man, their grab is great. It's just I love Ice Climbers. They were one of my mains in Melee. They were one of my mains in Brawl. I want to see them back.
It would be cool to see them back.
Part of me thinks this would be really stupid, but I just got a feeling that if one point ever, when all the DLC said and done, and they re-release Smash, Smash Brothers
DLC edition,
Super Ultra
Smash
Brothers,
Ultra Turbo Arcade Edition Champion,
whatever. It has all the DLC included, but they were make something platform exclusive, or if they had to include Ice Climbers, because the thing is you release a character for the Wii U version, it has to be in a 3DS version. I don't know. The first thing that popped to mind is that some time later down the road, if they were ever to include Ice Climbers in the 3DS, it'd be on new 3DS. But then at the same time, you can also immediately see why that'd be a problem.
I think it's weird because I've got a feeling the 3DS is 4 years old. 4 years old now. So I think we're gonna get a handheld successor within two or so years. So I'm not sure how likely it would be that if they were to re-release Smash Brothers, that it would come out on the 3DS at all. So
I don't see that happening. But yeah, I like to see Ice Climbers return because I agree. I think the reasoning why they weren't included in the first place to be absolutely
It's bullshit.
So Don, shall we get into your number 2 pick?
Number 2 pick is another familiar character that was excluded on the way to Smash 4. It's Snake. I want to see Snake come back.
why do you think Snake was?
Because Konami.
Konami?
I would say they would have to renegotiate a contract or some sort of deal with Konami on the transition to the next game, and I guess maybe Nintendo or Sakurai said, let's give someone else a chance.
Well, I don't know, because they brought back Sonic is the thing, though.
Yeah, but I think just because it's because Sonic has better relations with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, Sega, anyway, I should say. You know, because we had the success of
Metal Gear Solid is mostly seen as a Sony thing at this point.
Sonic has been very successful with Nintendo platforms with the Olympic Games, Colors, and the DS games like Rush and Rush Adventure.
Yeah, like thinking about it, the only big Sonic hit that hasn't been on Nintendo in recent times is Generations.
Yes. Other than that, the relationship's solid, so it makes sense that Sonic would come back, no problem. But for Konami, that's different. But if we're to talk about that in terms of inclusion, I like to see Snake come back.
I would too, but there's another Konami character I'd rather have in Smash Brothers than him at this point.
Well,
which I know is gonna be your number 1 maybe.
Yes. Well, before that, Nathan.
My number 2 is Captain K. Rool. Captain K. Rool.
I was gonna mention him earlier when we were talking about villains not getting enough representation, but I had a feeling, Nathan. Well, we were talking about it
specifically
like last
Captain
because
K. Rool, as opposed to
because well, when you think about it, King K. Rool himself did not have much of a moveset. Did not have.
Well, he can pull moves from all of his various forms. I just figured the King K. Rool version of the character is the most well known.
No, I really think more people go back to DKC2 than 1, and.
Well, it's just in terms of the name.
I disagree.
I disagree. I kind of like the compromise that Ryan went with. I disagree that Captain K. Rool is more recognizable because I think when you think King K. Rool, you think of the red cape with the crown, not so much the pirate gear.
But I think that pulling moves from like his pirate thing or like his
mad scientist thing in 3.
or whatever
that would
he
be
used
nice.
In 64.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Because yes, if we're talking about effectiveness. Yes, Captain K. Rool runs circles over King K. Rool. But in just terms of looks, what people are familiar with, I think King K. Rool is...
Then just give him different costumes.
Sure.
Yeah, there's that too.
But it would be awesome to have K. Rool back. Well, have K. Rool. But give him...
Well, I think another... If we're talking Donkey Kong characters, do you think that they'd go for K. Rool, or do you think that they'd go for someone like Dixie Kong?
I say K. Rool because of villains. We need villains.
Yeah, that is very true. But since for some reason, even though it's weird, Nintendo owns the rights to the Kremlings. They're in like Mario. They're in the Mario soccer games.
They're in Smash Run.
Baseball. They're in Smash Run. I know, but for some reason, when it comes to Donkey Kong platformers, they just haven't been in there. They ignore them for some reason.
No, that's retro.
Yeah, that's retro. Like I don't. Well, not just retro. Jungle Beat. They made new bad guys too.
Sad.
So like I don't know why Nintendo seems so hesitant to use them. So like part of me thinks that if there was another Donkey Kong character, it would probably be Dixie. But I would rather see K.
I don't want Dixie
personally.
Agreed.
Wait, you do want Dixie or you don't want Dixie?
No, agreed. I would like King K.
Oh no, I said I don't want Dixie.
Oh, okay.
But what about Cranky Kong?
What about Cranky Kong?
Cranky Kong would make a great assist trophy where he just sort of like if he's like Rossetti from Brawl and he just rambles on.
If we're gonna talk assist trophies, then do the Animal Buddies.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Stampede. And then Ungard just acts like Goldine and just flops around.
But On Guard was always the best Animal Buddy though.
Then Espresso just runs in a straight line, doesn't do a goddamn thing.
You know, Rambi does all the work.
Winky just hops off a ledge and dies.
Good soldier. Good soldier.
All right.
Well,
so we're
number
getting
one picks?
Please?
number 1 picks. My number 1 pick is Isaac from Golden Sun. Not too surprising, I know.
But, okay, we'll start as an assist trophy in Brawl. You want to see upgraded to a full player.
Well, he's oddly missing as an assist trophy. In
Okay. Take that as you will.
I mean, why take him out if you already had it there? But, you know, I just feel that he'd be good with all of his magic attacks. He'd be a nice little RPG representative, considering Nintendo doesn't make too many RPGs, at least outside of Pokemon, and even those Pokemon are pretty basic.
I haven't played Golden Sun yet. I do have a copy of it from the Club Nintendo, but you know,
It's a really good game. I recommend it.
yeah, like I'm all for adding lesser-known characters to Smash Brothers because, like, Fire Emblem's always the biggest example. Like, that's one of Nintendo's heavy hitters now, is Fire Emblem, when nobody knew what it was before Melee. So and I'm pretty sure Xenoblade got a bump in popularity from Shulk. So, you know, I'm all for lesser-known characters in Smash. It's just I don't have much to say otherwise because I haven't played Golden Sun yet. So.
Is it weird that when I hear the word Golden Sun, I think of a bowl of cereal for some reason?
Are you thinking of the Raisin Bran mascot?
Anything like honey flavored?
Well, with like that bear mascot,
Maybe. No, that's gold. That's
Golden Crisp.
gold. Whatever. I haven't eaten that in years. I don't remember that. Anyway, I apologize for that derailment there.
But no, Isaac, I just feel would have a lot of fun moveset potential, and he'd be pretty easy to implement considering his general rig and look is pretty much already done already.
Yeah, they
from
said
both,
that
from both Brawl's assist trophy as well as being similar stature-wise to Marth, Lucina, etc.
Yeah, because they said that they pulled tons of data straight from Brawl, so they could at least take the base model and work from there. Anyway, my number 1 pick was the Inkling because that was, I just think, the most likely choice. But since someone took that from me, I'm going with Typhlosion. Because why the fuck
of course.
Hey, if Greninja could be a random starter that gets into Smash Brothers, why not the best one? Right. Okay, yeah. But seriously.
Isn't that right, Ted? I agree, Ted.
Oh, come on. It'd be so cool. It would be so cool. Like, Typhlosion's awesome.
You're the only one who thinks so.
Unlikely, considering... I don't... How many Pokemon reps do we have?
Pikachu,
Too many.
Pikachu, Charizard,
Pikachu.
Lucario, Mewtwo, and Greninja. We've got 6. And if they're gonna add another starter, it's gonna be a grass type. It's gonna be because they've got Greninja as the water starter and they've got Charizard as a fire starter.
But Typhlosion's really cool. Okay, like I had to pick
Charizard's
this at
better.
I had to pick this at the last second. All right.
All right.
Whatever. Okay, yeah, that I agree. Probably not gonna happen, but at least like as a Pokeball Pokemon would be cool or something.
Just give me a picture.
Just hide him in the background of one of the stages.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is he not? Why is frickin' Infernape in the background and not Typhlosion?
Because fire fighting you.
Why did they remix Gen 4's Wild Battle again and did not remix a single Gen 2 song? That is
Because fire fighting you.
frickin' bullshit. Okay.
Here come the firefighters.
John,
So are you gonna put out the fire?
John, what's your number 1?
My number 1 pick is another Konami representative, and it is Simon Belmont from Castlevania.
You just want the Captain N, you know.
No, I don't
reunion.
want. Get that piece of shit away from my Smash Brothers. No, I'm talking about the Conan Barbarian wannabe Simon Belmondo. Yeah, Simon Belmont. When I made that Twitter post for Smash Bros, I was only half joking about that. I didn't actually put fucking Wall Chicken Man for the reason. But you know, Simon Belmont, I just think that he's one that's solely missing from what Smash Brothers represents, or at least what the characters inside Smash Brothers represent Because a lot of them are pulled from, if not the mid '80s, then up to the early '90s, and Castlevania was a prominent franchise at that time, and I think it would make the most sense. Now, why Simon and not say Richter or Julius or
Trevor?
Trevor Belmont? Yeah, they can be alternate costumes.
Alucard?
I just think not Alucard, because I think if you're gonna have a Castlevania representative, it needs to be a Belmont. I just think Simon makes the most sense. I'd love to see Simon Belmont in the game. Give me some awesome fucking Castlevania remixes. Come on.
What about what's his face from Castlevania 64?
Who?
We don't talk about him.
I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. I don't think it was a Belmont.
No, I think it was a Belmont. I just don't remember his name.
What's his face from Castlevania on the Genesis?
That was
John
Richter.
Morris.
John Morris.
Yeah.
There was there was John Morris
And Eric
He was
Lacard.
And Eric Lacard, yes. Richter is Rondo of Blood and Dracula X.
Yeah.
Richter's, well, again, I say Simon because he is the go-to Belmont for me. Alternates can be Richter, Trevor. Well, I guess in Simon and Trevor's case, it'd just be a difference of hair choice, but...
Well, it's kind of
You
weird.
could always steal the Judgment costume.
No.
It's kind of weird, though. Even though Simon's kind of like the go-to Belmont, in terms of the Castlevania timeline, he does jack and shit. Like,
What are you talking about?
like,
He beat Dracula like three
He
times.
beat Dracula, and then he resurrected him just to beat him up again.
yeah, but that doesn't have any effect on anything.
Hey, no, because Richter tried that shit and got possessed. That's why we got Symphony of the Night. So Simon did it the right way, and that was hundreds of years before Richter.
Yeah, but like it's weird because in terms of the Castlevania timeline, Super Castlevania 4 and Simon's Curse are like the filler episodes of the Castlevania timeline, and he's the most famous character.
But yeah, I agree with Johnny. Of the Konami representatives we could have, I'd rather have Simon Belmont over Snake.
Well,
I'd like to have both, but
Well,
Yes.
the whip would be a fun thing to play with, I think, too,
Yeah.
and all of the sub weapons as his
could be
specials.
his specials, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what his final smash would be. but
All the
I don't
sub-weapon
know.
item crashes.
Yeah, I would say item crash.
Hydro Storm.
Just Hydro Storm. You don't even need to have any other item crash.
But Simon never did an item crash in your Castlevania game.
But
so
it's a
he
latent
can't
ability
do
of
that.
the Belmont clan.
Yeah, but you know what? Richter couldn't super jump and tackle and Rondo of Blood, but something he can do all that wishy-washy hodgepodge. It's Symphony of the Night.
And
Suck it!
And Richter can't moonwalk upstairs. That is the ultimate ability of the Belmont family.
Not the dangly whip thing?
The dangly whip thing is only useful for when they're shooting projectiles at you.
Or when you just want to fuck around,
Yeah.
But like they don't even move their arm with enough force to make it move that way. It moves on its own.
They don't need to.
There we
Belmonts. Yes. Anyway, Nathan?
Your number one
My
pick.
number one is actually a out of left field kind of thing, but it is a Nintendo thing. Ray MK3 from Custom Robo.
Oh, okay.
He's missing out
That-
the assist trophy. And
Oh, yeah.
He's not an assist trophy anymore. And Custom Robo was one of those. It was a strange series because it only had two North American releases, one on the GameCube and one on the DS. But it was a really fun series. And I love the Custom Robo series, and Ray being the main character, being the main model, was something that I always enjoyed.
But I think we were forgetting another Ray man.
Rayman would probably be interesting for the amiibo alone.
No.
Just how they would make it work.
No, it's just pieces on the cardboard.
I love all of the pictures of the Rayman amiibo, like the one where he's like all clear plastic, or where he's. Oh man, but again, I've never played. Is Custom Robo good?
I enjoy it. It's a very interesting game, and granted, yes, its entire basis is based around customization, but there are some like standout weapons.
No, how convenient. We have custom moves now.
Right. But
Oh yeah, what are Mewtwo's custom moves?
He doesn't
He doesn't
any.
have any.
He doesn't have any custom moves.
Not
No.
that I know of.
Which really just makes me think they don't give a shit about it. And neither do I.
But yeah.
Well,
All right.
these are our choices. We can only hope for the best. I like to say I'm the most correct out of all of these picks.
No.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Nope. Not.
Yeah,
Not.
We'll probably find out more at E3.
yes.
Watch, they're gonna.
Which
pull
is
something
less
left-
than.
out of
No,
left
I think
field.
it's exactly 2 months away at this point.
About.
about
About that, yeah.
Oh boy, when do? Actually, we'll probably start entering. We'll probably board the hype train as soon as we're finished MomoCon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kind of weird how Smash is going to be the big hype thing for Nintendo 3 years in a row.
It is the power of DLC, and that's one thing Nintendo knows how to do right.
Yes.
So are we done?